Hello and welcome to this special edition of Inside Sports COVID-19 2020 crisis. I'm Todd Blackstock. Joining us today to discuss their situation is the outstanding head basketball coach at Vashon, the Wolverines, one of the pride of St. Louis, Mr. Tony Irons. Tony, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Tony. So how have you been keeping yourself during the pandemic and what have you been doing to stay busy and productive?
I actually been trying to, get some little working out in myself, man, trying to get back into a little shape. Been doing some bike riding, just some different things outside and kind of, maintaining social distance, but still trying to stay a little active and stuff like that at the same time.
What a whirlwind up and down 2019-20 basketball season the Vashon Wolverines had. You guys, I think you're like 22-4, 22-5. You had a tremendous season. You're just about to go to the state championship, and it all shuts down. Can you walk us through, how you go into the state playoffs, you win, and then, it seems like the big day is coming, and all of a sudden they pull the rug.
Yeah, it was pretty difficult. There was a we kind of had in the back of our mind that there was a chance that it could happen. We got a chance to see that class 1, 2, and 3 had an opportunity to go down. So when they went down to play their games, we were a little optimistic that we had an opportunity to possibly do it. And we just treated it as one day at a time. We had won our quarterfinal game and we hadn't heard anything. Everything was still, protocol as usual. We had to fill out some things for the state association to get ready for the Final Four. And we scheduled practice for that Monday. And when we got to practice, we got an email that basically said there was going to be a conference call at 1 o'clock. So we were in the middle of practice when I got that call. And we got on the conference call. And they pretty much had said that, that the governor has shut everything down, that we weren't going to be able to have it. So that was probably one of the most difficult conversations I've ever had, was going in the locker room and actually having to tell those guys that, the season was getting cut short. And kind of explaining to them the whole situation, because we had been talking about it. In that quarterfinal game, we also kind of mentioned that there was an opportunity that that might have been our last game playing together. And we had to, finish that game, on a high note and hopefully cross our fingers that we were going to get a chance to play it. But when we didn't, we kind of in the locker room just talked about, the situation and how it's important to maintain safety and stuff like that. But, at the end of the day, it ended up getting shut down on us, and it was kind of difficult. It was some tears, but it was some kids that kind of understood what was going on also.
Vashon head basketball coach Tony Irons with us in a special edition of Inside Sports. And Tony, with no closure, how do you move forward? Because that seems to be one of the cruelest things is to not have an end. Not to have a championship per se. Would you say it might possibly be a good idea to maybe crown everybody, with the first place championship that hadn't lost yet in the playoffs? There might be 4 co-champions or something like that on the positive side.
Yeah, and we kind of, some a couple of the coaches that were in the Final Four, we all kind of talked, and we wanted the state to kind of go that route with it, to kind of just name everybody state champions, because this is probably one of the few times. I'm not even going to say the few times. I can't even think of the time where all 4 teams have won their last game. 4A boys and girls, 5A boys and girls. Usually it doesn't work that way. You kind of get some separation. Somebody wins, somebody loses, but you get a chance to actually play it. For this situation here, everyone makes it to the Final Four. Everyone wins their last game. And, I think it's more not about us, but it's more about the kids being able to, to live that dream of some of them, their first opportunity of making the Final Four. You know what I mean? Just to be in that situation and to not have it, end the way that, a lot of us wanted to end is kind of, it's kind of devastating. But the state association ended up making all of us like finalists. Final Four finalists. And, they did their part on trying to bring some type of closure to it. But if I had my way, I would have kind of rather everybody be named state champion.
Gotcha. Now you had a senior laden team this year in 2019, 2020, and you had four seniors that were all state. I'm looking down the list. Most notably Cameron Fletcher. What a season he had, and I'm sure there's great things on the horizon for this young man.
Yeah, Cam's going to. Well, we had three seniors and one junior on that list. Nick Kern is a junior, but he's going to be back. But the other three that made All State. Cam starts with him. He signed to the University of Kentucky. It's been kind of difficult for him as well because, with all of our seniors, none of them, they were all getting ready to get on campus, in June to get started with summer school and summer workouts and stuff like that. And all of that stuff has been pushed back right now. So it's still kind of up in the air when they're going to get a chance to, get on campus and get acclimated and stuff like that. So they're kind of playing the waiting game just like everybody else is. So Cam getting ready to go to Kentucky. He had a tremendous senior year for us. He led us in points and rebounding. He's athletic. He's got a chance to be, a very special player down there. His upside is incredible. He's got a chance to, hopefully, if he continues to work at the level that he's been working at, have a chance to hopefully do this at a professional level at some point. So he has aspirations of that, and it's been difficult with him because he's a gym rat. He wants to be in the gym and all that stuff. And with this whole pandemic, it's kind of limited a lot of access to that type of stuff. So, he's ready to get on campus though, but we expect great things out of him in the future.
A familiar name on the All-State list is a junior who had I remember a Nick Kern from way back in the day when your dad was coaching at Vashon. Yep. How's Nick doing? And I'm sure he's excited about going into his senior year. Hopefully, everything will turn out okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick's been doing great. Right now, we've been all of our kids have been doing just like everybody else, been doing a lot of virtual schooling and stuff like that. So
kind of like this.
yeah. So we've been kind of making sure that that they're kind of staying on what they have to do academically and finishing it strong. So this would be our last week of school right now. So it's kind of been making sure that he's finishing up strong, doing the things that he needs to do.
All the seniors, that are graduating is a heavy senior team, the Wolverines this year. Nick's going to have to be one of the leaders moving forward into next year. Now, next year, there's going to be all kinds of different changes and things that are going to happen with high school, college, and professional basketball. Before we let you go, Tony, what do you think about some of the new rules that may be in play? Because, fist bumping, high fives, you're sweating, you're checking, you're trying to dunk, you're trying to block shots, you're constantly bumping into each other, everybody's sweating, but most of these people are very healthy as well. What are your final thoughts?
I just saw that the NFHS just came out with something that just came, I think it's a 3-step process with kind of what you said, kind of phasing it in a little bit and kind of eliminating locker rooms and eliminating a lot of things and making sure that they're on a lot of people and stuff in certain settings. And I think that as long as we, continue to be informed of what's going on and the CDC's making recommendations and we follow them as best as we can, as long as we're doing that and we're being a little bit proactive with things, I think that there's an opportunity for, sports to continue at a high level and give kids an opportunity to play. But, just continuing to stay informed. I think our job as coaches is to make sure that our kids understand what's going on and that they're taking necessary protocols so they're not, not just putting themselves at risk, but putting others at risk at the same time. You know what I mean? So making sure that they're understanding the importance of, wearing masks and washing their hands and staying, not touching each other and stuff like that. I think that we can kind of ease into, the sporting arena and being able to, get back to competition, which everybody wants to do.
All right, well, Tony, thank you very much for joining us on this special edition of COVID-19, the pandemic 2020 on Inside Sports. Congratulations on being one of the co-state coaches of the year, and good luck moving forward.
I appreciate you having me. Thanks a lot.
All right, that's Tony Irons. I'm Todd Blackstock. Thanks for watching this special edition of Inside Sports, and keep watching STL TV. Experience St. Louis.